I've seen breaking news hit first take before. I've seen tickers scroll across the bottom of the screen with trade alerts and signing announcements. It's part of the show. It happens regularly during free agency and around the trade deadline. But I have never, not once, seen the entire show grind to a halt the way it did this morning when that red breaking news banner appeared at the bottom of the screen with words that made every single person in that studio freeze in their tracks. Sources: Golden State Warriors in advanced negotiations to acquire Cade Cunningham from Detroit Pistons. I saw it before Stephen A. saw it. I saw it before Shannon saw it. I was sitting on my couch watching the show, and my eyes happened to drift to the bottom of the screen at the exact moment the text appeared. And for about 2 seconds, I thought I was misreading it. I thought maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me. Because the Warriors and Cade Cunningham, that's not a combination that had been reported anywhere. That's not a rumor that had been floating around the league. That came completely out of nowhere, and the reaction in the studio confirmed that nobody, not even the hosts, had any advance warning that this was coming. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything, that like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly, the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. Molly saw it next. She was mid-sentence talking about something completely unrelated when her eyes caught the monitor. She stopped, she paused. And then she did the professional thing and said, "I'm going to interrupt this conversation because we have breaking news. Our sources are reporting that the Golden State Warriors are in advanced negotiations to acquire Cade Cunningham from the Detroit Pistons." And then there was silence. Real silence. The kind of silence that only happens on live television when something genuinely unexpected occurs. Stephen A. turned to look at the monitor. Shannon sat perfectly still. And then slowly, Stephen A. turned back to the camera and said, "This changes everything. If Golden State gets Cade Cunningham, they just solved every problem they have in one move." The producers immediately started pulling up graphics. Cunningham's stats from this season appeared on screen. The Warriors' roster configuration flashed up alongside it. Salary cap numbers started scrolling. Highlight packages started running in the background. And the show transformed in real time from a casual end-of-season debate show into a full breaking news broadcast about what could be the most significant Warriors acquisition since Kevin Durant. Stephen A. was first with his analysis, and he was absolutely electric. He said, "Do you understand what Cade Cunningham means for the Golden State Warriors? Let me break it down for you. The Warriors have been searching for the answer to one question for the past 3 years. Who comes after Steph? Who is the player that carries this franchise into the next era? They tried to find that answer in the draft with Wiseman. Didn't work. They tried with Kuminga. Didn't work. They tried with Podziemski. Still developing. They looked at every trade target, every free agent, every possible option. LeBron, Giannis, Paul George. None of it materialized. And now, right here, right now, the answer is sitting right in front of them. Cade Cunningham is the heir to Stephen Curry. He's the player who takes the torch from Steph and keeps the Warriors relevant for the next decade. And if Joe Lacob makes this happen, it's the smartest thing he's done since hiring Steve Kerr. And then Stephen A. went into the basketball fit, and this is where the conversation got really sophisticated and really exciting. He said the Warriors system is built on movement, intelligence, and decision-making. It rewards players who can read the defense, make the right play, and operate within a structured offensive framework. And Cade Cunningham, despite playing in Detroit's less structured offense, has shown throughout his career that he has the basketball IQ to thrive in exactly that kind of system. His passing vision is elite. His ability to read defenses and make decisions in real time is advanced beyond his years. And his size at 6'6" means he can see over the defense and make passes that smaller guards can't make. In the Warriors' motion offense, with all its screens and cuts and split actions, Cade's playmaking ability would be maximized because the system would constantly be creating opportunities for him to find open teammates. Shannon's reaction was fascinating because he wasn't against the move. He was cautiously optimistic. He said, "I think this could work. I really do." But the key word is could, because there's a risk here that people aren't talking about. Cade Cunningham has been the primary ball handler and primary scorer for his entire NBA career. In Detroit, everything runs through him. He has the ball in his hands for the majority of every possession, and now you're asking him to come to Golden State and share the ball with Steph Curry, to play off the ball at times, to be a secondary creator when Steph is on the floor. That's a huge adjustment. Not every player can make it. We saw it with D'Angelo Russell when he came to the Warriors. He couldn't adjust to playing without the ball, he couldn't figure out how to coexist with Steph, and the fit never worked. How do we know Cade won't have the same problem? And that launched a really important discussion about the difference between Russell and Cunningham, which I think is critical for understanding why this fit could actually work where others have failed. Stephen A. made the point that Russell's failure in Golden State was primarily about his limitations as a player. Russell needed the ball in his hands to be effective. He couldn't shoot consistently off the catch. He couldn't cut and move without the ball. He was a one-speed, ball-dominant player who had no off-ball game. Cade is different. Cade can play off the ball. He can spot up and knock down threes from catch-and-shoot situations. He can cut to the basket. He can operate as a screener and make plays out of the short roll. His skill set is diverse enough that he doesn't need the ball in his hands every possession to be impactful, and that's the crucial distinction. Russell couldn't adapt because he didn't have the skills to play without the ball. Cade can adapt because he does. I want to add my own analysis here because the more I think about the Cade-Curry partnership, the more excited I get about it. Think about the dual playmaker lineups the Warriors could run. Steph and Cade on the floor together creates an offensive nightmare for opposing defenses. Both guys can handle the ball. Both guys can shoot from deep. Both guys can create for teammates. The defense has to decide who to focus on, and there's no right answer. Double Steph, Cade carves you up in the pick and roll with Draymond or whoever's at center. Focus on Cade. Steph gets open looks from three that he's going to make at a 40% clip. Try to guard them both straight up. Good luck, because they're both too skilled for any individual defender to contain consistently. And then think about the staggered lineups. Cade leads the bench unit while Steph rests. Instead of the offense dying when Steph goes to the bench, which has been the Warriors' biggest problem for years, the offense stays alive because Cade is running it. He's creating, he's scoring, he's making plays for the shooters and the cutters around him. The bench unit goes from being a liability to being a legitimate offensive weapon, and when both Steph and Cade are on the floor together, the offense reaches an entirely different level. That kind of continuity, that ability to never have a dead stretch offensively because one of your two playmakers is always on the floor, is how championship teams are built. The generational transition angle is what I think makes this move truly historic if it happens. The Warriors have been trying to figure out the post-Steph future for years. Every potential solution has fallen short, and the window for Steph's remaining elite years is narrowing. If you add Cade now, you get the best of both worlds. You get Cade learning from Steph, absorbing the culture, understanding the system, developing his game within the Warriors framework. And when Steph eventually retires, the transition is seamless. Cade steps into the primary role, having already spent a year or two learning from the greatest shooter in history. The Warriors don't skip a beat. They don't enter a rebuild. They just transition from the Steph era to the Cade era, with all the institutional knowledge and winning culture intact. The play-in is right around the corner. The Warriors are the 10 seed heading into a do-or-die game against Portland or the Clippers. And if Cade could somehow be acquired and eligible in time, the Warriors' play-in prospects transform entirely. But even if the deal doesn't get done in time for the play-in, the long-term implications are seismic. The Warriors go from being a team clinging to relevance through Steph's final years to being a team with a clear, exciting, franchise-altering future. Dub Nation, the breaking news ticker doesn't lie. Advanced negotiations means this is real. This is happening. And when the final details are worked out, when Cade Cunningham officially becomes a Golden State Warrior, the basketball world is going to have to recalibrate everything it thought about the future of this franchise. Subscribe, comment, stay locked in, because the next few hours could bring an announcement that changes everything.